This is Zach Clark for Space Coast Daily. Along with me, as always, Orville Susan and Steve Wilson. We're here at the Beef O'Brady's here on State Road 524 by Publix here in Cocoa. And guys, they've been a sponsor for you guys for a while, and talk about how much they mean to you guys for the Friday Night Locker Room Show.
Yeah, well, we can't do what we do each and every Friday night without the support of our sponsors. Sean O'Reilly, Timmy O'Reilly, all the staff at Beefs, they've been with us for probably 8 years now. So we enjoy, when we're in Central Brevard after a game, this is where we come because they have the best food in town. Had the Veggie Bowl yesterday, and it was unbelievable. So, but it's all about dollars and cents, getting the sponsors to support us. And not only do they do that, but Sean O'Reilly is a huge sports fan in Brevard County. He's a big Cocoa Tiger fan, which is to be expected. We're in Cocoa, but he really works hard for the youth in Brevard County.
And Orville, talk about how much Beef O'Brady's means to you guys.
Well, you know, like Steve said, they've been a sponsor for a long time. And one of the things I like about this Beef O'Brady's right here, it's local for a lot of people. After Cocoa High Games, which is located just a couple miles away, this place will be filled not only with Cocoa Tiger players and fans, but also Space Coast or Titusville or whoever might be in the area at the time. You'll come into here and there'll be a half of the restaurant will be Rockledge Raiders, the other half will be Cocoa Tigers or Astronaut War Eagles, and it's just a very good place for a lot of good people to come and enjoy good food and good friends.
When I first walked in here, it smelled really good, so I'm going to have to get me some of the food as well. But guys, we're going to start off with the girls here. District play just wrapped up here. We're going to talk about a little bit of the districts that happen in girls. And Steve, we'll start off with you in the 2A.
Yeah, Class 2A, no real surprises. The Merredon Christian Cougars wrapped up a perfect season, did not lose a game during the regular season, finished up at 15-0. They defeated Masters Academy by about 25 points to win the district, so that enables them to host a first-round game against Berrien Christian. Masters Academy will hit the road. One of these good news, bad news. If you win the district, you host. If you lose, you travel, but you're still playing. So congratulations to the Merredon Christian Cougars. Jayla Johnson and Olivia Powers leading the way offensively as they've done most of the year. But I like Masters. It's going to be a tough first-round game for them, but I like the Cougars in round number 1 against Berrien. It's going to get tough after that, but they're in the dance, so to speak, and we'll see what happens.
Orville, you got the 3A.
Class 3A, and it played out just like we thought it would. Steve and I talked about this at the very first show that we did about girls basketball. Last year, MCC and Florida Air were 1 and 2, and they did it the same this year. Number 1 seeded MCC played the number 4 seed John Carroll and beat them handedly, 51-8. So not much of a ball game there. Running clock early. And the number 2 seeded team, the Florida Air Falcons, beat number 3 Benjamin, and that was by a score of 67-47. In the championship game, MCC beat Florida Air 55-51 in a close game, but it was a win for MCC to take the district title. Kamari Jones, as always, led MCC with a lot of points, 16 points actually to be exact with that game. And that will put MCC hosting next week, and Florida Air will hit the road.
That 51-8 game, man, I can't imagine being there at that game. But Steve, you got 4A.
Class 4A locally, 7-team district, the largest district in Brevard County. And as most of the districts in Brevard County played out, this one played out like we thought. It came down to Astronaut and Cocoa. Coach Hostetler's War Eagles defeated Cocoa 47-46 to win the district. Mariah Batts, Kiana Kador, the 2 leading scorers for the War Eagles. Daishika Price, 27 points. If she'd had 29, the Tigers might have won the game. But exciting basketball game down to the finals. Now it gets tough for both teams. The War Eagles will host Jones, the Jones Tigers out of Orlando. They're the 4th-ranked team in the state of Florida. That's who they play in the first round. And then the Cocoa Tigers will travel to Lake Highland Prep, who's the 3rd-ranked team in the state of Florida. So it's one of those curses where the district right next door to you has 2 of the best teams in the state of Florida. But, you know, they say to get to Lakeland, you have to go through the tough teams. The Tigers and the War Eagles are going to have to hit the tough teams early. But, you know, they're there. They're where they want to be. So congratulations to both Astronaut and Cocoa, and good luck the remainder of the playoffs.
Orville, and you have the 5A District 14.
Class 5A District 14 did not, well, it played out the way we thought it would, but it didn't play out like it did last year. Last year, it was the Titusville Terriers and head coach Bobby Wynn taking the district title, with the Rockledge Raiders and Reuben Williams being the number 2 seed in that district. This year, they switched places. The Rockledge Raiders played good basketball all year long, and it showed when it came down to the district game. They ended up beating the Titusville Terriers in the final game, 72 to 52 to John Chapel, with 16 points for the Cocoa Tiger, or for the Rockledge Raiders. Was our Friday night locker room player of the game, and that was the Friday night locker room game of the week. So the Rockledge Raiders, congratulations to them. Reuben Williams and the Raiders, the number 1 in the district, and the Titusville Terriers and Bobby Wynn take number 2.
In District 15.
District 15 is a little bit different this year. The number 1 seed was Suncoast from Riviera Beach. They were the number 1 seed, only a 3-team district. So Riviera had a bye, so it was between the Bayside Bears and the Palm Bay Pirates. And the Pirates beat the Bayside Bears 53-32 to win the honor of playing Suncoast, and not much of an honor it was, because the Suncoast easily handled that game for them. They end up being the district winner 45-33. So the number 1 seed was the Suncoast out of Riviera Beach, and number 2, the Palm Bay Pirates.
All right, Steve, and you have the 6A.
Class 6A followed suit to the lower classifications, and we said all along Edgewater and Heritage were the top 2 teams throughout the regular season, and they proved it in district playoffs. The Edgewater Eagles defeated Heritage 50-33, won by 17 points, so they will host a first-round game. The Panthers will travel, hit the road. Unfortunately for them, kind of reminds me of the Astronaut Cocoa team. They're going to have to travel to Winter Haven to play a 25-3 Winter Haven team, the number 3 ranked team in the state of Florida in their classification. So it'll be a tough game right out of the chute for the Panthers, but they're playing really good basketball at this point. Don't be fooled by the 17-point loss to Edgewater, because they are one of the top teams in the state as well. So Heritage is there. We'll see what happens when region play starts this week.
And Orville, you have the 7A.
Class 7A, again, a little different than it was last year. Last year, Jamie Reisberg and the Viera Hawks controlled that district. They had a record of 22-4, and Martin County come in last year as the number 2 runner-up. This year, Sebastian River snuck in there and got the district nod. They won, and they went ahead and beat in the first round. They beat Martin County, the number 4 seed, and number 3 seed, the Melbourne Bulldogs. They upended the number 2 seeded Viera Hawks to set up a matchup between the district, the Melbourne Bulldogs, and the Sebastian River. And Melbourne, winning 11 games in a row, not lost at home all year long. They're the surprise, I think, of the district this year. The Melbourne Bulldogs end up winning, and they take the district, and the number 2 team ends up being the Sebastian River Sharks.
That was the overview for the girls. And this is our final top 5 of the year here in basketball for the girls. And guys, we're going to start off with Steve. Steve, who do you got in your top 5?
Well, I'm actually going to finish up with a top 5, kind of. I have a tie for 5, so there's 6, but I don't have a top 9, 10, or 11. We're checking in at number 5, tied to the Cocoa Tigers and the Florida Air Academy Falcons. I had the Falcons ranked higher most of the year, but they haven't finished as strongly as I think they would have liked to, and my rankings are based on how I think they're playing right now. I have the War Eagles from Astronaut at number 4. I like Coach Hostetler's girls. They played solid all year long. Started off 6-0. And they have just played had a very solid season there in region play. I have Melbourne Bulldogs checking in at number 3. They haven't lost a game in 2015. They're probably as hot as any team in the county, but I don't think they can beat the 2 teams I have ranked higher than them. I have the MCC Hustlers at number 2, primarily because they defeated Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, but they beat, I think, a very good Florida Air Academy Falcon in the district finals. And my top-ranked team for the 3rd week in a row is my buddy's team over there to my left, the Rockledge Raiders. I think at this point in time, they are the best team in Brevard County.
That was Steve's top 5. Orville, what do you think about Steve's top 5?
Well, he's very intelligent when it comes to baseball and football, but not very intelligent when it comes to basketball. But he picks a rabbit out of a hat every now and then, and like everybody says, even a blind squirrel will find a nut once in a while, and I think he did that right here. He did a nice top 5. Makes a lot of sense of what he had to say. Unfortunately, it doesn't make any sense to me. But still, we're going to run my top 5, and we'll go from there. But My top 5 changed a lot, as his did, because of what happened during the week. But I've got the Titusville Terriers at number 5. I think Bobby Wynn and his team is ready to go on the road, even though the Rockledge Raiders beat them by 20 the other night, to go on the road and do some damage. Can they do a lot? I don't. You know, it's going to be tough to say. Like Steve said, it's tough when you get out of Brevard County because you really don't know what's out there waiting for you. And on any given night, anything can happen in any sport, especially basketball. But I have the Titusville Terriers number 5. I've got the Cocoa Tigers number 4, who lost to Astronaut by only 1 point. But I had Astronaut high last week, and I still have them higher this week. I moved the Melbourne Bulldogs up from number 5 to number 3, and the same reason Steve said. They haven't lost in 2015. They haven't lost at home, and they've won 11 basketball games in a row. So I moved them up from number 5 to number 3. I've got the Astronaut War Eagles and head coach Greg Hostetler at that spot just because they came in. They didn't play well at the beginning of the year. Coach Hostetler got his system going. The girls bought into it. They've been playing well. I think they're the hot team right now. I like the Astronaut War Eagles at number 2, and all year long have been saying, and Steve has agreed, the Rockledge Raiders and head coach Reuben Williams are hitting on all cylinders right now. The Rockledge Raiders, big district, congratulations to them. They're a big district winner. Titusville Terriers come in at number 2.
You know, Orville started off the season, his top 5s, we all kind of laughed a little bit. I hate to use the term really bad, but he was really bad. He's graduated now to just bad because he has the Titusville Terriers in the top 5, and I like what Coach Wynn has done in Titusville, but the Terriers at this point in the season cannot beat any of the teams that I have in the top 5, and Orville knows it. I don't know what he's thinking about. He has a close relationship with Coach Wynn, and if he wants him in his top 5, you know, bless his heart, good for him. But I would put them at probably about number 8 right now. He has the War Eagles at number 2. War Eagles cannot beat Melbourne. They cannot beat MCC at this point in time. So, you know, Orville has the right teams other than Titusville. He just has them in the wrong order.
All right, guys, that was the top 5 for the girls.